is up, YouTube? A little bit of a prep update. We are 12 and a half weeks out, just under 12 and a half weeks out. And, things are feeling good for the most part. This prep has been pretty smooth. Every prep obviously has its own fair share of challenges. But just like in retrospect, or to give you guys some context as to what I'm kind of currently going through, how I'm kind of currently feeling. This is my third show. So my first show was the same show this time around last year, so the Van Dyke in 2025. And it was, me kickstarting my competitive journey, which for most people who are, passionate about bodybuilding, passionate about making some type of career or name for themselves in the industry, you're going to be chasing that route at one point or another. Myself, though, I'm someone who, the second I turned 16, I knew I was going to be a bodybuilder. I knew that this was going to be, something that I devoted for the better part, or in other words, the better part of my life trying to achieve, or the early part of my life trying to achieve. And the first prep that I partook in last year, I don't think I would have actually competed if it wasn't for a lot of things kind of going on in or on the back end, particularly like pain points. So without getting too into it, like I had gone through quite a difficult breakup the year prior, and I really just didn't know what to do with that pain. I didn't want to let it kind of like internalize and, destroy me. So I kind of used a lot of that pain and that, those negative feelings to propel me into my competitive journey, which, it definitely, was a catalyst that allowed me, or that, got me to compete and got me to, be where I am today, where, I'm an established coach, I'm a competitor, and I am for the most part very, very happy with my life and what I've created out of it. For those who don't know my past, I'm 26 years old. I just turned 26 in January. I was the kind of guy who kept putting things off, or who kept waiting for the right time, and I came to the conclusion or the understanding that there never really is a right time when it comes to chasing your dreams, right? The best time to start something is yesterday. So I kind of took, a risk and kind of went all in the sense of, okay, I'm just strictly going to put all of my attention and energy into bodybuilding and my business, which is bodybuilding related, as it's a prep coach or fat loss coach. Now, this time around, I want to say there's a lot less excitement in regards to this prep. I'm not exactly sure why. To be honest, I can't put my finger exactly on why this has been a bit more of a, let's just, for lack of a better term, boring prep. There's just less of that excitement factor. Now, obviously, your first time competing, there's going to be a lot of adrenaline. You're going to be dealing with things such as nerves and doubt, and for the most part I did experience this last prep, but I was almost just tunnel vision and had the horse blinders on in terms of, okay, I had this goal at hand. There was no way that I was going to abandon my goal, but this is my third show. So now that we've kind of established ourselves, we've gotten a taste for what bodybuilding really consists of and takes, this prep has really just presented different challenges in terms of internal pressure. My first show, I coached myself. I got very, very lean. I got stage lean. I did a pretty decent job, I think, of bringing myself to the point where I would be stage ready, not only physically but mentally. But this did not result in the result that I wanted. So after my first show, I teamed up with a local coach here. For those who don't know, it's the Executioner, and he helped me with my second prep. So first show last year was, VDC 2025 in May. And then pretty much immediately after I got my placing, which wasn't happy with, obviously, it being a second call out, I reached out to my coach, or my current coach, and we came up with a game plan as to what the next show would look like and how we would attack that. So we decided on the Golden Prairie Cup in September of 2025. So that, I believe, was like a 17-week gap between the VDC and the GPC. So we had a good amount of time to, figure out how my body works. It gave him a good amount of time to, come to an understanding as to how I work as an individual and what I need. And long story short, GPC went a lot better. I got a second and third place in my class. So I did true novice, novice, and open. I got third in open, second, I believe, in novice, and then true novice, I forget, honestly. It was a bit of a confusing registration in those regards. So nonetheless, this is now my third show. So we are back to, where we kind of started last year. And I'm the kind of person who, once I have a goal in mind, it really, really makes it difficult to enjoy a lot of other things in life when it comes to, what other people would consider balance or purpose or meaning or fulfillment. Me, I really, only found my real fulfillment pursuing my dreams or really, really, taking a risk. It's the really only element in my life that has given me, any type of sufficient meaning. And I mean, I know everyone's got careers, they've got family, they've got partners. I'll be honest, I'm someone who, my career revolves around bodybuilding. I'm a coach. Family-wise, I do have a very, supportive family. They understand that, not everyone takes this route in life, but I am, responsible for the results that I get in my life, good or bad. And so far, just going back to where I was a year ago, like I said, coming out of a really, really bad relationship, not a bad relationship, it was a good relationship, but it didn't end the way that I would have wanted to. I grew this kind of like chip on my shoulder and this, kind of like resentment to happiness in a sense. I felt like I didn't deserve to be happy. So anything that kind of, would cause me pain almost would be used as fuel, and I would almost reject any type of peace. So whenever I came to the point in my life where, I was content and happy and I felt peaceful, it was almost unfamiliar to me. So, like I said, this time around, there's a bit less of that element of, fuck you, or what I want to say, like called fuck you motivation or fuck you energy. This time around, like I said, it's more just of an internal pressure. I'm not one to really, really compare, but like, I look around and I see a lot of people that, live very happy lives. They're successful, they're fulfilled, they have good partners, they, have a family, they got money in the bank, and it's something that I've always strived for. It's something that I've always wanted, and I have gotten myself to the point where, I'm fairly financially free. I don't have to work a job. I have my own job, I have my own business, which does put a lot of pressure on me, like operating your own business and trying to, make a living, especially when you don't have a 9-to-5 or, you're not gone the C-bum route or you're not, necessarily popular online, can definitely be very, very challenging. It can make you question, if this is the right path for you. But coming out of the first competitive season, I definitely soaked up all that energy. I applied it in the best way that I could in terms of actually helping me grow as an individual, and I've come a long way. I do believe that, I am a very, very different person now than I was, not just a year ago, but you go back 5 years and man, I don't even really recognize myself. But like I said, I still have a lot of things in life that I haven't necessarily but more so had the luxury of enjoying. And like I said, this can kind of, skew your mental perspective of, what path you're currently on and if it's the right path. And I kind of go back and forth in my head, right? Like every challenging situation, every struggle is purposeful in the sense of, okay, you take challenges and you take, let's just say, obstacles, and it's how you react to them or it's how you face them, not necessarily, what that obstacle is. And I think that defines who you are, not only as a person, but it can help inspire other people that are in a similar position. So without getting too long-winded and without making this too much of a, let's just say, personal backstory, yeah, prep is prepping. So we're hungry. We are not eating a whole lot of food. I think we're on like 2,400 calories on our baseline. We reduced some high days, so now we only have one high day a week. Our cardio is quite high, so we have 30 minutes fasted in the morning and then 14,000 steps accumulated throughout the day. That's excluded from that 30 minutes of cardio. So it's a good amount of, you know, time consumption that's put in on a daily basis. But like I said, this prep has been, you know, just, in other words, boring in the sense of like, you know, I'm really just focusing on the things that I need to execute on, that being my training, my food intake, my sleep, my rest, and my recovery, and just doing everything I can to kind of get that additional 1% or that extra 1%. Yeah, to kind of summarize, today, obviously grocery haul day, so we're gonna take you along to Costco. We're gonna stock up on the basics. For the most part, I have, you know, kind of what I need. I just kind of need to get a couple things, but I'll stock up on kind of everything that I need while I'm there. So take you guys along for that. Today is a rest day, so there's no training for today. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to plug in tomorrow's arm day into this video. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to keep this more of a prep update and grocery haul. But for the most part, yeah, today is going to be grocery haul. Giving you guys obviously the prep update and context as to what things are currently looking like. Physique-wise, we're kind of going to keep things probably under wraps here for the next little bit until we get closer to like 6-ish weeks out. I'm happy with the way that I look. I'm definitely much farther ahead than I was this time around last year, not only in the GPC prep, but in the VDC with the same timeline. So, I mean, like 12 weeks out, or 12 and a half weeks out, I already am pretty pleased with the conditioning that we've been able to bring. Now, back, we want the back to come in a bit more. Really, that's what we're trying to focus on right now, or at least the posterior detail. The front side or the anterior side is, you know, for the most part, is pretty far ahead, and we are just trying to minimize the amount of muscle loss, or trying to optimize the amount of muscle preservation that we are retaining, and just from a mental perspective, trying to address any type of, you know, nuances that skew your mindset when it comes to, you know, heading into prep with the expectation that you have set out for yourself. So now everybody wants to win, everyone wants an overall, everyone wants a class win, a national qualification. That is what I'm chasing. I am chasing an overall, I am chasing a national qualification, but I understand that, you know, a lot of things are out of my control. I can't control who shows up on stage. I can't control a lot of variables that, you know, can play out throughout prep, but I can really just control what I can, and that's what I'm focusing on. So as I said, you know, training, nutrition, rest and recovery, my mindset, my inner circle, and my business right now is where my attention is pretty much 100% in. Other than, you know, the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, I don't do a whole lot else. I kind of just shut everything else out, especially in prep. I kind of just, you know, I don't block family out, I don't block friends out, but I stay quiet. And that's just the way that I operate. That's who I am at heart. It's nothing personal against anyone. It's just I tend to get a little quiet, and people can misinterpret that. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna head out the door, go to Costco. We might stop at a co-op or something like that to pick up some miscellaneous items. But for the most part, like I said, I have what I need. I just need to kind of restock for the upcoming week. So take you along for that. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please post them down in the comments. Subscribe if you guys would, and let me know what you guys want to see in future videos. So without further ado, grocery haul. Let's go restock. All right. So the first thing I need is veggies. I need broccoli and asparagus. I actually kind of lucked out today because it is a Friday and it is not overly busy. It didn't take me long to find a parking spot. Usually like Thursday through Sunday is the busiest, especially around this time, like 3, 4 o'clock. But yeah, today not too bad. Not overly busy, so I can kind of get in and out of here pretty quick. So yeah, hopefully I don't completely lose my sanity, because especially as you get deeper into prep, you're more irritable. So yeah, bananas still in the diet, so I'm gonna get some of those. Sweet potato. I already have like 2 bags at home. I'm just gonna get 1 more. There's not a whole lot in here. I think there's only like 4 medium-sized red potatoes or sweet potatoes. I only have 1 meal of sweet potato a day, so when I stock up, it lasts about a week and a half. I don't have much fridge space, so I gotta limit myself. Okay, so broccoli, asparagus. Those are really the only veggies that I need. I've been entertaining getting some iceberg lettuce just to add into some of my lower volume meals, just to help with satiety or being full. Especially increasing low calorie fiber can really help with just keeping your stomach filled up with food volume, right? But it's not currently on the plan, not currently on the diet. So although it's pretty negligible, we are gonna stay as strict as possible today with no deviations or no off-plan foods, really. Now, gotta get some tilapia. Tilapia acquired. I don't know why the prices on them are so different today. Usually they're like 22, 23 bucks. Today they're like 29. So, like I said, I have some stuff in the freezer, but today's a bit more of a small grocery haul. Next up, we need some chicken. Pack of chicken breast. There's roughly about 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 chicken breasts in there for $33, so not bad at all. Really the only protein sources in my diet right now are chicken, tilapia, egg whites, Greek yogurt. So it's not not a whole lot of variety in there right now, but I've been on this same meal plan for the most part, ingredient-wise or food selection-wise, for the better part of a year. So I really don't want to change anything right now, just because it's another variable that my body is not used to or accustomed to. So and try and keep things as consistent as possible. That way, if anything does change, we can account for the variables that are responsible. All right, egg whites. There's like 4 in here. I have a fridge full of egg whites, so I don't need see you guys there. I have a fridge full of egg whites, so I don't need a whole lot. Just really gonna get everything that's on the meal plan, but anything that I have currently in stock, I'm not gonna go too crazy on. So we have our veggies, sweet potato, banana, our protein. I think I really just need peanut butter, blueberries, and Greek yogurt. I think that's it. Blueberries, got those. Now just need Greek yogurt and what else? Peanut butter.
Hello, sir. Have you tried it out yet?
Man, it is so tough to not have any of the samples when I come. And obviously the samples aren't super big, but anything that is not in the diet, we stay the hell away from. And it smells good, so that can be tough sometimes. They don't have the regular Greek yogurt that I want. That's 2%. Don't want that. We want 0%.
Yeah, I thought it was over here with the, oh, here it is, Tammy.
So I think we are just going to get that from Co-op because I've been using the same stuff for months and they just randomly stopped carrying it. So for that reason, we're gonna hold off on the Greek yogurt here and we'll get that elsewhere. Because I cannot see them having it somewhere else. Yeah, that's weird. I hate that. It's like they've had it here for the better part of, you know, a year. Every time I come grocery shopping, get the same one. It's like a 3-pack. And the last 2 or 3 trips that I've come here, not only have I not been able to find that Greek yogurt, but even stuff like tilapia, like the tilapia section, it was like 2 weeks in a row where I came and they didn't even have any. And I was like, don't you guys carry tilapia here or have tilapia in stock? And then they're like, oh yeah, shipment was delayed, or there was a couple big snowstorms, which kind of, I guess, delayed things, but very weird, I guess, coming to Costco and not being able to find what you're looking for. So last item, oh, this pistachio cream. That would be delicious. But I think we're gonna do we do crunchy peanut butter or smooth? I think we're gonna do smooth. All right. So I think that's everything that I kind of at least need from Costco. We'll stop by a different shop to get Greek yogurt, have rice cakes for now, diet soda, which we'll see what they have, if there's any limited edition flavors. You know, I love my limited edition 0 sugar, 0 calorie diet pop, so we'll see what's on the shelves, but I think for now, for Costco, that's a wrap. We're good. Just at the till here, so put you guys down for a second, and then we'll see you guys probably at Co-op. All right, first stop done. Now I'm just gonna head over to the Co-op, which is just like this little chain grocery store. Fucking hell. Here in Winnipeg. Or Manitoba or whatever the fuck, but it's cold out today, dude. It says -5, but I'll tell you right now, I do not feel like -5. And it's windy as hell lately. I mean, there are some benefits to the cold. I like the cold. Like, personally, I don't hate the cold. It's just how long we have the cold for. And it's not even the fact that it's cold. It's more so just the fact that it's like there's no sun. It's like gray and fucking brown and white everywhere. And I mean, the cold itself, I don't mind. Like, especially when it comes to sleep. I generally don't sleep during like the summer. It's always kind of been a thing for me. I grew up on a farm, so it's like even my dad operates this way. I don't know if it's just because of fucking hell, the lifestyle. Sorry, these roads are awful, so trying to keep you guys on this little dinky tripod is a little challenging sometimes. Back to what I was saying. I can't sleep during the summer, but during the winter I sleep very well, for the most part, because it's cold and I can keep my window open, and I just can't sleep if I'm hot, which is always kind of a struggle when you are, you know, midsummer where it's like +20, +30. In the middle of the night, even if you open up your window, half the time it just makes it worse, right? You get a bit of a breeze, but you don't get the actual coldness or the temperature drop that you need. But yeah, the cold I don't mind. I just can do without the stupid stuff like traffic. Traffic is horrible in the winter. People drive super, super slow. The roads are awful. You pay like freaking 60% tax here in Manitoba. You're taxed at like every bracket, but they say it's for our roads, but I would beg to differ. But for now, we are just sitting in the middle of traffic. So I'm going to catch you guys. Stop number 2, which is gonna be Co-op. We'll grab a couple miscellaneous items and then catch you guys back at the crib. Right, stop number 2. We got the absolute rockiest cart here, so sorry to those who have to bear with this. But we're not gonna be here long. We only have a couple things to pick up, so snag those real quick and then meet you guys back at the crib. The cereal section. God, what I would do to fuck up a bag of fucking Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles right now. Comment down below what your favorite cereal is. I think I gotta go with Fruity Pebbles. All right, this is what we need here. Greek yogurt. Need some sugar-free Jell-O. And some diet sodas. So let's see what they have going on in the diet soda section. Actually, I don't need some, just want to see what they have. Every now and then there's like this new flavor that comes out, limited edition or not. The most recent one is the cream, or I guess cream soda Pepsi. Fucking shit hits, I'll tell you that. But sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. So sometimes I stop by here to restock on it and they don't have any. So they have a pretty much full section, so I just grabbed a case there. Cherry cola I have at home. I have, I think, Pepsi Lime and the limited edition Pepsi Maple Cola, which I want to say was probably my favorite so far. But I have not seen that one back in the shops in a good month or so. So whenever I see that next, we're definitely gonna grab a couple cases. But for now, sugar-free Jell-O. And that's it. So I'm gonna ring the stuff up, get out of here, and we'll see you guys back at the crib. We just got some work to do and some stuff to edit, so. So we're gonna wash the vehicle. I'm lucky my, I guess, apartment complex or my building has a built-in car wash in the level parking. I'm underground, but while I have access, I'm gonna rinse or wash the whip real quick just because these Winnipeg roads really get your car dirty real fast, so this probably won't even last that long, but I hate driving around in a dirty vehicle, so we are gonna wash that real quick and then go in and bag all the groceries. So. so that is just under about a week's worth of food. So we have asparagus, broccoli, sweet potato, banana, some sugar-free Jell-O, egg whites, diet soda, chicken, tilapia, peanut butter, blueberries, and Greek yogurt. So I restocked on some creamy rice yesterday. We still have a little bit of peanut butter left. Fridge is pretty empty, but I mean, I try and keep it fairly empty during prep just so that I'm not eating off plan. So essentially there's only things in here that are on plan. So I got diet soda, some sauces, some tang, we got broccoli, sweet potato, rice cakes, and then just some prepped broccoli, sweet potato, asparagus, rice, and tilapia, egg whites, diet soda. So for the most part, very similar. It's kind of just a rinse and repeat system. Get a week's worth of food, toss it in the fridge, prep it, and then just chip away at the week. So I try and make things as easy and as less mentally challenging as possible. So we are gonna, for the most part, cook the majority of this food up right away, just to kind of get it prepared, get it sorted into the proper Tupperware, and then I kind of just pick and pull as I go. So I don't prepare every meal individually. I pretty much just prepare my basic ingredients and then allocate them as needed. So we're gonna get all this stuff put away. I have a bit more work to do. I gotta do some program updates, kind of just check base with a lot of my clientele, and then we got some cardio to do soon. So it's currently 5 o'clock. Usually I start my second round of cardio, or I guess steps, around now. So fasted, do like 30 minutes at like 120 BPM. So that's really the only cardio of the day. But then the rest of my steps are made out throughout the day with the treadmill. So, I mean, this little Costco haul in itself, I don't know how many steps exactly that I got. We'll take a look, it's probably around 1,000, maybe 1,500. So that should reduce my total a little bit today, but we roughly have about another half hour to do on the cardio, like around 5, 6 o'clock. So after this work block, I'll do another half hour, and then anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour later tonight before bed. So yeah, fun times. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in a little bit after the work block and give you guys a bit more updates. So for now, all right, everything's put away, nice and organized. Got our diet sodas, egg whites, prepped food with our meats we're about to cook, and then just our veggie and like, I guess, carb tray. So, I mean, I really like to have my shit organized. I do have like OCD tendencies, or like overly compulsive disorder. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think the way you keep your environment is like a reflection of your mental state. So when you look around, at least my place, you know, it's for the most part very organized. So, I mean, I live by myself. I don't have to like worry about other people messing my shit, but I like my shit laid out a certain way. So it's like, I like minimalism. I don't like a whole bunch of shit everywhere, or a whole bunch of, you know, items trying to fight for my attention. You'll see me, like, if you're ever around me, I always do this kind of shit where it's like I square shit off. Gotta make sure it's like lined up or centered. But for the most part, like everywhere or everything in my apartment matches to a certain degree. So like we got a lot of gold accents. Obviously I like gold. Not a whole lot of wasted space. It's a bit of a small apartment. It's like a almost like trailer style, where it's like it's longer, so there's not like the floor plan is pretty simple. It's a rectangle. It's split into two, so you have like the living room here, right, with my office, and I guess the French balcony. Dining room with the dining table, island, kitchen, fridge, whatever. We have a shoe closet. I just kind of keep my gym sneakers, gym bag, jackets, tripods, old cowboy boots you don't wear anymore. Bathroom, you know, same thing, gold accents. Try and keep shit, you know, as clean as possible or as organized as possible. Moving on into like the second part of the floor plan, it's like the other half of the building. This is, I guess, my walk-in closet, which everything, if you can see, color-coded. All my gym tanks, hats, my Travis, more sneakers up there that are boxed up. Yeah, so I like my shit a certain way. Even like, you know, the way I set up my color coding or whatever the fuck, right? It's like neutral tones, a lot of black or dark aesthetic, and gold. So I try and keep shit pretty minimal. I got these red lights or these LEDs set up in a couple of different places just so that at night I reduce the amount of blue light that I'm consuming, just to try and help, you know, stabilize my circadian rhythm, because as you kind of get deep into prep, sleep kind of goes to shit. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for my pan to heat up. We're gonna throw the chicken on. Gonna drink this diet soda because I'm fucking starving right now. And yeah, we're gonna get some work done, wait for the chicken to cook up, have our third meal, and then go do cardio. So we'll catch you guys in a bit. So since I spoke to you guys last, it's currently like 8 o'clock. I think we, you know, finished wrapping up the grocery haul around 5:36. We got a half hour's worth of steps in, so we're roughly at 11,000-ish on the day. So we got another 3,000. So we're gonna head back down after this meal, go do some more cardio, come back for the last meal of the day, shower up and then go to bed because it's getting a little late. But yeah, I just kind of been chipping away at some work for the last couple hours. So I just headed down to the party room and started recording just some YouTube and Instagram content that I need for future production. So it's been a busy day. It's been good. For the most part, I'm just hungry. I'm tired. I want to get this food down. I want to finish editing, get everything wrapped up for today's work, and then hit the hay because your boy's tired. So thank you for following along for today. I do appreciate those of you guys who actually make it through to the end of the videos. I know some of these can be a little bit boring if you are not fans of the fitness scene in bodybuilding world, but I'm trying to put a bit more emphasis on, you know, opening this type of content to people who are not only looking for, you know, fitness content, but also just like mindset and motivation. I think a lot of people can relate to not only, you know, the pursuit of fulfillment, happiness, and purpose and success, but also just what it's like to be human. And although, you know, I try and, you know, put on a tough face, I'm human as well. So I definitely experience, you know, all the same shit that you guys do. Yeah, it's been a good day. We're gonna eat up more cardio, more food, and get some sleep because we got arms tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, so the gym is gonna be probably a little busy, so I'll try and head there later morning. And yeah, stay posted for the next update. Like I said, I'm open to suggestions and recommendations when it comes to the stuff that you guys want to see, as it's kind of why I do this. I do this for you guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. And then yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and follow along for the rest of the prep journey, as we have 12.5 weeks to bring our absolute best to the stage. So thank you for following along, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.